Today, I want to talk to you about the biggest lie in human history. The biggest lie in human history. This program is brought to you by Dream Again Global Community, and this is Productivity Clinic. This is a platform where you're able to get your priorities right, focus, and become consistent on the things that really matter when it comes to the accomplishment of your goals and your targets. So, that being said, welcome to today's edition of Productivity Clinic. I am Vershima Deorti, the productivity surgeon, and I help students, entrepreneurs, and marketplace professionals defeat procrastination and learn the principles that can help them accomplish more in 12 months than they've done in 3 years. I'm also the founder of Africa's fastest growing entrepreneur and hyper productivity community, Dream Again Global Community. And today we're going to talk about an interesting topic. But before I proceed, if this is your first time on my YouTube channel, go ahead, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that when the next value drops, you can actually consume it. And if this is your first time on Facebook, hit the follow button because that's the best decision you're going to make this year. That being said, let's get into it. And so it's important we understand that information is so critical that the information you get, first of all, forms you and determines the actions that you take. And you see, your life is a product of the choices and the decisions you make because it takes the will of man to be able to take specific actions. And so, looking back today, I've discovered that there's been some major lies that have been promulgated in human history. It was Mark Twain, if I'm not mistaken, that said the story of a man, of the story of humanity, is of people selling themselves short. And so, the first lie that I want to talk about today is the lie of go to school, get good grades, and then get a good job. You discover that schooling is general, education is personal. So you discover that the people who dropped out of school, they didn't drop out of learning. They had to leave study. What they were studying, what they wanted to know was not available in the school curriculum. So those people dropped out of school, but they didn't drop out of learning. Because there was no curriculum for what they wanted to accomplish, they had to design their own unique path. And when they were able to achieve those things, the school system now studied them. So even if you want to drop out of school, don't drop out of learning. And then the school system of these people who they talk about dropped out is entirely different from yours in Africa. So you need to understand that life doesn't reward you for similarity. Life rewards you for your difference. Your difference is what the world is gonna reward you for, not your similarity with other people, because you're a unique being. So you need to understand that, and this is why you need to now take your personal self-development very serious. Why? In personal self-development, you get to find out your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities and your threats. So for example, in my as I move up along in life, I've discovered that I'm quite a different person from everyone. Why? I've had different experiences, which have now determined how I perceive life and how I do things. Those experiences, they color your perception. You need to understand that. So that's the first lie you must debunk. Life is not going to reward you for your similarity. So when we go to school, we're trained, over 1 million people are learning the same thing you're learning. How do you intend to get a competitive advantage? So the second lie is, school tries to make us become very general. In life, the people who make the most money are specialists, not generalists. You must specialize in a particular discipline, be known for one thing, and then when you do that consistently and you succeed, guess what? The world is going to think you know everything and they'll trust you. So you need to understand that you need to pick a field. Don't be general. Pick a field and then go all in on that. And then when you succeed at one thing, you can replicate it at other areas. Very important. This is one big lie that I think um, a lot of people need to know this while they are still in the university and understand that they'll be rewarded for being masters at a particular thing. This is why in the book The Outliers, Mark Gladwell talks about the law of deliberate practice, putting 10,000 hours consistently. That means you are improving, practicing your craft for 10,000 hours to become world class, right? So you need to understand that you're going to be rewarded in life based on the level of your mastery, ec- how you become prolific and profound at what you do, not for being a general. Now, the last but not the least is failure. No such thing in human history exists as failure. We only have people who quitted before they saw the result which they were seeking. You need to understand that failure, your first attempt at anything is going to be very terrible. And so, failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is the path to success. And so, you must make up your mind to put in the work long enough for it to begin to make sense. You must put in the work long enough, keep learning, trying again, learning, trying again, because success at the end of the day is an iteration of you finding out what works and what doesn't work, and just this because most people are scared of failure, they never try. You try, you will never know what's possible for you. Today I'm so happy that I have the opportunity to create my own reality, not to wait for someone to call the shots for me, but literally I've learned the most important skill that anyone can learn: the ability to sell, the ability to find out people's needs and then match them with a product or service and then help them get that result. Is gold, because once I find people who are hurting and they can't wait to get the solution, then there's a possibility for me. And this is why I'm not interested in selling people who do not, I'm not interested in helping or serving people who do not have a need for what is it I want to offer. I'm only interested in helping people get the results they desire when I identify that they really have a need and they have the capacity to get the result they desire. So you need to understand that failure is not the opposite of success. And last but not the least, the biggest lie is the fact that we've been able to society, because society wants most people to be poor. We've been conditioned by the mass media and several other avenues that sales is a bad thing. Listen, selling is human. I think it was Daniel Pink or who that wrote the book To Sell is Human. So you need to understand selling is what we do from when you do as a husband to your wife. The day you stop selling to your wife, that's the day you're going to get your divorce, or that's the day your relationship ends. The day you stop selling your children, that's the day they are going to go wild. The day you stop selling your employees, that's the day they're going to leave you, go work for another company. So selling is what we do 24 hours every single day. But a negative connotation has been created around that, because the day you learn how to sell, you'll be able to call the shots. You'll be able to write your price tag, because that's the only profession I've seen that does not have a ceiling on your ability to earn. Because In sales, it is more about your ability to treat people well and then be able to help them find solutions to their problems. Because every human being, as a matter of fact, as long as you're human, the proof is that you have problems. There is no human being living and breathing that does not have problems. As a matter of fact, only dead people do not have problems. So, listen, if you are watching me right now and you have problems in your life, congratulations, you are living. Because only people in the grave, only people who are 6 feet below do not have problems. But as long as you are living, as long as you're on this part of the divide, you're going to keep having problems, bro. And that's why you're going to need salespeople, because it is salespeople that help you solve your problems. So selling is one of the importance of learning how to sell has been, not been shared a lot. It's not been said enough. But listen, if you want to write your price tag in life, then go out there, get some books on sales, begin to study the concept of selling. You discover that selling is the most important thing that has to happen for money to be made in the society. And those who call the shots, that's the only recession proof industry. It doesn't matter what AI comes, sales will still, the human touch of selling will still need to be there. And so get yourself in the sales profession if you really want to determine your lot in life. Get into sales, commit 2 to 3 years to it, go all out, get some rejection, and stop caring about other people's opinions because their opinions do not count. Your success is not predicated on popular opinion. Your success is predicated on laws. And when you understand that the law of averages and the law of large numbers is in your favor, all you have to do is go through the process long enough until you become prolifically profound at what you do. And then when you get enough no's, the yeses will begin to flow in. And when the yeses, that be it for me today. Understand that you're going to be rewarded. Understand that failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is the pathway to success. And also, selling is the highest paid profession in the world. I love you. And until I see you in tomorrow's edition of Productivity Clinic, understand that at the Dream Again Global Community, we work with people who really want to become specialists, people who really have dreams, goals, aspirations, and we show them the right skill sets they need to and competencies they need to develop in order to be able to make their dreams a reality, build teams, and pilot that idea, execute that project that has always been on your mind. That's what the Dream Again community is all about. It's a safe space for you to come try out your ideas and for you to have a supportive community who believes in you and who are cheering for you. Because the world is filled with negative people, and we are that voice of hope that believes that there's a place for entrepreneurs and there's a place where ideas can really become products, services, and experiences that improve the human experience, right? So if you want to become a part of the Dream Again community, you can just type Dream Achiever in the comment section. Our team is going to reach out to you. We're going to see how best we can actually support you and make your dreams a reality. Until I see you tomorrow in tomorrow's edition, bye for now.